Hey everyone. We're creating a video to highlight some of the upper division marketing courses within the marketing major. As business administration students in the marketing major, we are only required to take 4 elective courses. So we thought it'd be important to highlight some of those courses to you all from the perspective of current students and past students. Today we're going to be focusing on Marketing 483, which is Dan Purdy's Integrated Marketing Communications class. The class is repeatable, and if you choose to take this class, you will start as a content creator, but it can later be repeated where you would take the role as a product manager. We'll go into more detail about what the class offers and how the perspectives of the class differ between the alumni and the current student. Enjoy the video. What time is it? Okay, we're chilling. I still got some time before class. I'm gonna head to the Student Success Center and get some coffee. Oh, what's up, Jonathan?
Oh, what's up, Nico?
How's it going, dude?
Good. How about you, man?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Would you have time to chat about IMC?
Oh, yeah,
a little
of course,
bit? All right, of course. Have a seat. So, Jonathan, how are classes going this quarter?
Ooh, man, they're tough this quarter. I feel like I'm kind of running around everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't really got too much time to myself, but overall, like, I can't complain. I'm loving my teachers. The work could be a little bit easier, but you know, like.
Well, you're coming up on graduation, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so.
When you graduate?
I'm planning to graduate spring quarter. So it's coming faster than sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to sit down and talk to you a little bit about your experience in IMC, because I know you took that last quarter. So I'm wondering if you could provide like a brief overview as to what that class kind of entails.
Okay. If you don't love your teammates, you're going to love them at the end of the quarter. You know what I mean? I would say if I wasn't doing like individual work, I was probably with my team working on like content creation and just kind of bouncing ideas back and forth off of them. The whole overall class, I want to say it was a really good experience, especially with Dan teaching it. He teaches us about like portfolios, having your own website, and also just like understanding how to be your own person and market yourself towards like the marketing industry, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So how would you describe like the structure of the class?
I want to say half of it, or maybe even like 3/4 of it, is actual like group work, and then the other 1/4 of it is your individual work. So we have like the creative brief that we have to do for our team, but also for like individual, and then we also had to make a website for our own selves, it was really good because I do have some experience in website making, but I felt targeting myself as a marketer was way different because we have to have certain things like slogans, taglines. We have to like also make a video about ourselves, which is like, me personally, I'm not like super comfortable in front of a camera, but I feel like as I'm doing it more, like I'm slowly getting better at it.
Yeah,
you know?
it almost forces you to get more comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. So would you say that this structure is different than other marketing classes for IMC?
Yeah, no doubt. It's a lot of real world experience. That's what Dan stresses about, is like, how do you get a job if you don't have experience, but you have a degree and they're asking for X amount of years, right? So what Dan's class is teaching us is like, it's giving us like that experience to just kind of go out there and apply it, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, so going forward, let's say 5 years in the future, what do you think will be your biggest takeaway from your experience in IMC?
The agile process.
Yes.
So being agile, being adaptability, that's also a tough thing that I feel like I kind of struggle a little bit with, is being able to change on the fly and just knowing how to go about that and still be confident with it, you know?
Definitely. If someone is thinking about taking this class, would you recommend it, and what advice would you give to them?
Most definitely. I would definitely recommend somebody should take this class because we're learning things that are actually useful, in my opinion. Also, just working in a collaborative setting too. That's not like, oh, I'm so stressed out, I gotta like get this deadline done. You actually get to know your teammates, I feel like, in this setting. and actually get to know what their goals and what their aspirations are.
Yeah. While you were in the class, what do you think the biggest obstacle for you? I know you mentioned the agile thing being a little bit hard to adjust to at the beginning, but what would you say was the biggest like hurdle that you had to get over in the class?
I guess looking at like the Kanban every day.
Yeah.
There'll be days like I'll miss, and then when we come back to like as a group and look at our sprints, sometimes I'll miss a day or two, and I'll miss a process of what happens, and then I have to catch up to understand what went on.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. So it's kind of like a way to keep track of where everyone in the group is
basically.
At that time, like what each individual person is working on, so that everyone has a sense of like where they're at.
Right,
basically.
right.
So I want to read to you the class finder description for IMC, and I want to hear if you think it's an accurate description of what IMC is, having experienced it yourself.
Yeah.
IMC covers the different types of marketing communications and how to integrate them into a coherent IMC plan. Advertising, sales promotion, public relations, direct marketing, event sponsorship, brand placement, internet advertising, search engine optimization, website design, and viral communication tactics. Emphasis is on new media and Web 2.0 strategies. Students develop a comprehensive IMC plan for an existing or invented product or service.
So I know that that's kind of a mouthful and a lot of information, but would you say that that description accurately describes what IMC was?
In a nutshell, yeah. I want to say it definitely was quite a bit of that. We worked in a lot of like programs that like I want to say like a lot of marketers aren't too familiar with if you're starting out, so like Canva, Illustrator, and then in terms of like advertisement, I know that like you guys are working on the Spotify certification, and I don't know if the brand is still the same for you guys, but it gave us a lot of like also like real world experience on how to run certain things for an actual company. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I do think that the definition is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
From my experience.
Nice. So if you had the opportunity to, would you take IMC again?
If the opportunity was to arise, I would think about taking applied IMC.
Can you briefly explain what applied IMC is?
Yeah, so it's just kind of the other side of the role. So you're in charge of a group, and you just gotta make sure you're hitting deadlines, make sure they're learning like things in actually
Staying
IMC.
on top of their stuff.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Totally. So I want to ask, like, going forward, what are your marketing goals?
My marketing goals. So I guess like once I'm done here, which is coming up pretty soon, I want an internship. So I would love to work at like Nike or Adidas.
Okay.
To do like sports designing.
Yeah.
And like more so for like their jersey department or just like their athletic department.
Nice.
Work on like campaigns. So that's like my end goal. For now, what I'm doing that I'm applying like sort of like these marketing like tools is like in my barbering career. So right now, like I kind of run like my own like page, like my own Instagram page.
What's it called?
So it's called Fades and Fadeaways.
Okay.
But,
And could our audience hit you up for a haircut if they were
yeah,
interested?
most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not
Extra
opposed.
business, I mean, yeah, why not? So in these sports design kind of marketing career goals that you have, how do you think that IMC will have been useful for that?
For sure. So programs such as like Illustrator, I find it really like useful because there's these things called like tech packs. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but essentially it's like to write out your whole layout of how like certain garments and things will like lay on your body, or just like the way that it's designed, like little things like logos, like how much it's supposed to like lay, and also just personal website. You have to brand yourself in a way to show that you have the tools and skills that you can do.
Well, Jonathan, I really appreciate you talking to me today.
Thank you so
I gotta
much.
head over to class, but thank you for sitting down and letting us know about your experience in IMC.
Yeah, thank you, Nico.
Hey, good talking to you.
Good talking to you.
Clay is a early career alumni. Clay, how's post-grad life treating you so far?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's been about a month and a half, 2 months since I graduated. I'm working now, I'm doing some property management and some marketing for a local restaurant downtown. I'm very fortunate I could apply my stuff to some real life action right out of college.
Let's hop right into the questions about IMC. Would you be able to just kind of walk us through a little bit about what the course looks like?
So the first time I took IMC was in the summer of last year, and that's just kind of the first one. So content creator, and we were a part of the OG podcast group, and so that was the first tier. So it was the tier where you guys are in content creators, and then there's manager, and then there's exec. It was different. It was different than any class, which was cool. It was a new experience. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I kept taking it. Took a decided time in the fall, and I was a manager. It was a whole different experience. So being a content creator, you're part of the team creating the stuff, and then the next time you take the class, you're a manager. So it's a different position. You're managing that team, and that was crazy because you don't really get a grasp of the first one. You're everything's kind of what is this, what is that, but then you take it again, and then you're teaching people, and once you start teaching people how to do it, everything starts to click. I have the most knowledge about IMC than any course, just because you get to take that second time. So,
yeah, are you glad that you did take it a second time?
Yeah, I think after experiencing the value that the first one had, the second one was a no-brainer.
I'm going to go ahead and read you the course description. How do you think that reflects the actual day-to-day and course contents in that class?
Day-to-day probably doesn't touch on the whole thing. Surface level, yes, but overall, I don't think that touches much on what you actually do in the class, because I think there's just so much that goes on in the class that's off the wall. Things can change, things can bounce around, and I don't know if you can really find out what you're going to do in that class without actually hopping in and doing it, because yes, everything you said is it's all true, we all do that, but that's the end result. So maybe the process to get to that point isn't really explained, and that process is what might appeal to people too.
You said that the class finder description pretty accurately reflected the final product of the class, and those end components. What are some of the things that you think should be included to better detail kind of the day-to-day of what it takes to get to those things?
Yeah, I think the biggest part is the simulation of a job. You're meeting every day, you're doing stand-ups, which I'm sure you've done it, is beginning of class you stand up, what are you working on, what's your blocker, solving issues, talking, standing up, an office. Stand-ups, you're communicating with people, you're following a sprint schedule, so it's deadlines, a boss would give you deadlines. I think that's something that nobody really knows about the class, is it's super job oriented. And if I would have known that, I would have been day one, I'm taking that class. There's just so much value in not a traditional classroom setting. And I think if that was explained, I think a lot more people would find value and it'd be appealing.
Sounds like there's a lot of group work in the class. What sort of individual expectations are there?
The individual piece of the class is using your knowledge with your group work, creating your own creative brief, you are a brand, and you're selling yourself for the job search when you're done. That includes building yourself a website, so kind of putting yourself together on the internet. So it was kind of a unique experience to finish that.
Do you feel like you left that class with a lot of sort of tangible things to take you out into your post-grad job hunt?
Yeah, being a creative, being a photographer, it helped a ton, because when you first start photography, it's just you're just learning the process of taking photos, and it's you can get good at taking photos, then you move to starting to want to work for brands and everything. You may start, and then things may get serious, but then you're I've just been taking photos, like that's it. And so this class helped me a ton with being creative, but with a blueprint. Creating that creative brief and understanding what a brand wants, it's been super helpful. And the day I started using creative brief, or like learning about creative brief, it like, boom, opened me up to like, okay, this is how the real world is. Yeah, ever since then it's been super great.
Yeah, I like what you said about being creative but with a blueprint. If you were able to take the course again, would you?
Yeah, of course. You won't find any other class like this because of the way it's structured, actually simulating a job. I would take it every quarter if I could. So.
It sounds like it was a really good experience in that class. Were there any big hurdles or anything you had to get through?
Yeah, the time I took it in the summer, like I just went in, knowing what I knew from other people and like, okay, yeah, I'll try it. And not a super outgoing person, like not a super talkative person, didn't really know how to like speak, and that was a big hurt. Like in this class, like you have to work with your teammates, like work with your group, like you have to be vocal and work with everybody, or else like you're gonna be left behind, And for some reason, I felt like I needed to host this podcast, which is like way out of my league at the time. So I was like, I guess, like, let's just do it. So I was just like, screw it, I'll be a host. So it kind of like forced me to like get out of my comfort zone. Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
At least from me.
Is there anything that you feel like you need to tell people that are thinking about taking this class, sort of maybe people that aren't marketing majors yet, but are sort of considering the concentration, or people that have already determined that they're going to be a marketing concentration and are just kind of deciding which electives they want to take?
I think this class like attracts the people that the class needs. So like the people who are creative, the people who are like a little bit entrepreneurial, like they're a little bit independent, like they want to do their own stuff. They want to like be a little bit ahead of the general population or like of the school. I think it just attracts those kind of people. So if you have any attraction or like general interest in the class, I think it's for you. So
great.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time, Clay.
Yeah, it's great being here, helping out.